I feel like I've been immersed in a daydream here. There's this sort of threshold between us that in my mind's eye seems like a portal for alternate universes. We're both like in the same space, but completely having different manifestations of worlds and stories that we're trying to like build.
It's nice to get a break from being like hyper-focused on the work. And she's always doing something wildly different from what I'm doing, so that's cool too. My mother is Italian, my dad is Cuban. Both his parents come from a very small inland town in Cuba and lived this like rural lifestyle farming. And then they left before everybody else in 1949. So there's a lot of stories that come directly from them, ephemera of anecdotes that are then passed down and then reinterpreted by me that get loaded into the work. I'm interested in like building a mythology based on like a flawed oral history that has major gaps and trying to create a mystic other space using some tangible reality and then some imagined elements.
I think there's a sort of romance that I have with archaeology. Early on, looking through National Geographic magazines or being in the library and gleaning images, like looking at tombs or different ways that we connect with the afterlife. Archaeologists are always connecting with material. They have the idea and the concept, but you still need to find the fragment to sort of inspire a whole understanding or build a whole world around it. So I just had this sort of draw of being a sculptor wanting to reconnect with material. So it's been an incredible space to be able to create literally in a new dimension. I'm always working on the floor, and here I've been able to like, you know, work on the wall and like elevate my work in a new way.
It's crucial that I reach a point where I hate what's happening on the canvas or in whatever it is I'm making, because I kind of need that moment of conflict with it to be like, well, what can I do to like resolve this like fight we're having? And then you have like a couple days of like manic euphoria where you're like, I figured it out. And then you feel like you are like doing some kind of magic, and then it's over and you have to start again. Which that's the worst, is when you're done and you're like, okay, back to square one. The paintings are starting to build onto each other. Like one painting will kind of open up like a chapter and it'll be like the first page, and then I'm sort of making paintings that are filling out the rest of the book. But I didn't really recognize that it was a world building practice until the more work I made. Once a character in a painting exits the painting and becomes a sculpture, and then maybe goes back into the painting, then I start to feel like I'm world building. It creates a different relationship with them, and it makes it feel like they're trying really hard to become real, which I'm interested in. I think I started with ephemera and didn't realize that it was going to become like a world and like a mythology.
I love going grocery shopping with my grandparents because they have such a beautiful way of like looking through the produce. You know, they're just like, no, this isn't, yes. Yeah. The way that they come in contact with the world, it's like, that's what I want to remember. That's what I want to also feel. And so being able to walk around this neighborhood and just collect abundantly, it's exciting for me. And revisit Miami. Like I am from here, but I feel like I'm having a new relationship with home and what that feels like.
I'm trying in the work to heal a lot of conflict in the family, and especially have conversations with family members that are no longer here, and sort of get to a point where I feel like I have some sort of closure that you can't get once people are gone. And to sort of create a space that I think is more welcoming than like the space that I've been given, where I feel like I can like completely be myself.